ado, we head to the Peterbrook Chocolatier studio line and check in with a good friend of the program, Mr. Colton Houston, fresh from nearly a decade-long stint at the University of Alabama as an integral part of the men's basketball staff there at the Capstone. And with that, Colton, how are you doing on this Thursday?
Travis, I'm doing great, man. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Appreciate you having me on today, man.
No doubt about it. So I've got to ask you first, Colton. I guess we're just maybe, a week into this new venture with HD Intelligence, but being immersed in the college basketball world like you were, as we talked about, for close to a decade just at Alabama, are you missing anything about it at this point from the day-to-day operation standpoint of what you were doing for all that time?
To be honest with you, I've been so busy with trying to get this operation up and running. Today is day 9 of HD Intelligence, and I'm just trying to tread water. And there's so much to do, so many calls to make, and I'm super excited and energized by it. But I haven't had a time to think about what I may be missing out on right now. I'll tell you, I think probably when the season gets here and we start playing games and I'm not able to go to practice every day and not able to be there on the bench in my seat that I got pretty used to right there, sitting a couple seats over from the head coach, I'm probably going to start missing it more come the fall.
Gotcha. Now, look, I guess part of your regimen, your structure stayed the same. You went up to the Final Four, right, in Minneapolis, and networking is what that's all about, as we know, for head coaches, assistant coaches, guys trying to find work. But what did it entail for you this time, given what you're getting into now with HD Intelligence?
Yeah, it was definitely a different experience for me. I do go to the Final Four every year, just like most people in this business do, and it's a really fun weekend because everyone in college basketball comes together in the same location. It's the only time all year that happens, and everyone from the legendary coaches that we all know by name down to the 22-year-olds just trying to break into the business in Division III. I mean, everyone's there, going to the same conferences, hanging out in the same hotel lobbies, hustling, trying to find jobs, trying to interview folks, trying to get better at their craft. But certainly going up there as a business owner, I guess I'm going to have to get used to saying that, and not as a staffer, as a coach, was different. But thankfully, those 9 years at Alabama, I was able to make a lot of relationships. I was able to catch up with a lot of friends and talk to a lot of people about HD Intelligence. And the response we got was really, really positive. We were able to have some really encouraging conversations, and I've been following those up this week with a lot of calls and maybe even take some trips here pretty soon to go and talk to these schools that might be interested in using us.
Now, what can HD Intelligence provide to these programs? I know in a form or fashion, you had pretty much integrated some of this into what Alabama was doing from a scheduling standpoint. But what is it? What void can HD Intelligence fill for maybe a Michigan State or even a Duke or a Kentucky, all the way down to a Division III program that is currently there?
Yeah, so we really have two areas where we can help programs. Number one, as you alluded to there, is the scheduling piece. And what we did at Alabama these last 2 years, my partner in this venture is Matt Dover. Matt's originally from Jasper, Alabama, is a graduate of Alabama, got his master's from Harvard, went on to do great things as a data scientist. He and I have partnered together, but he helped us the last 2 years at Alabama on the schedule, and we really feel like we have hit on something special that, honestly, Travis, it's just as simple as if you schedule intelligently and you sort of take the model that we've created these past 2 years and you apply it to your team and your situation, you can really, really improve your chances of getting in the tournament. You can really improve the seed you get. The committee looks for certain things, and a lot of work has gone into it, but we think we've hit on a really good approach to trying to put your best foot forward there from a scheduling standpoint. The other thing we want to do for teams is we want to bring an NBA approach to analytics to the college game. So there's a reason all 30 NBA teams have these fully staffed analytics departments employing 5, 10, 15 individuals. it gives them a leg up, right? And if they don't do it, they're going to be at a disadvantage. There are very, very few college teams that are doing that. So we want to do that for a small number of teams to see the value in what we do and can partner with us. And that I could talk all day about this, but really we're looking at how to help you maximize the guys on your team and your team's success using analytics, and also how to prepare from a scouting perspective for the teams you're playing.
So it's essentially the money ball approach to hoops. Colton,
there you go.
Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, and we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Like I said, the NBA's been really ahead of the curve when it comes to incorporating analytics into their basketball operations for a long time, but college isn't really there yet. And there are probably a handful of schools out there that understand and try to maximize kind of the analytics advantage. But man, I feel like there's a tremendous opportunity for some teams to hire us, get us to come in there and work really closely with them and basically give them an edge. Because like I said, very few teams at this level are taking that approach.
So Colton, let me give you an example of a team from the most recent season that there was a lot of talk about leading up to the NCAA tournament selection process. And maybe not the greatest example, because Lipscomb's in what is essentially a one-bid league. But there was certainly a lot of buzz about Lipscomb. And that only increased after the Bisons made it all the way to the finals of the NIT, where they eventually lost to Texas. But tell us how HD Intelligence would have rated maybe a team like Lipscomb's merit from an analytical standpoint and its viability for an at-large bid in the 2019 tournament.
That's a great question. So the way we can benefit you, or say Lipscomb, to use your example, once your schedule is set, really the only thing you can do to help your chances is to play as well against that schedule as you can. But when we talk about teams like Lipscomb, unfortunately, they play a much weaker conference schedule than, say, an SEC team. So they have to do everything they can in the non-conference, probably 13, 14 games worth there, to try to close that gap, right? So I do think that HD Intelligence could be a really good fit for a team like Lipscomb, a mid-major, a team with a chance to get to the tournament. Maybe if you look at their net rating or their KenPom, they're actually a really strong team, but that doesn't always correlate to the resume that they put in front of the selection committee, because they don't play a lot of really good teams along the way. So what we would do is we would help you engineer your schedule so that you maximize your chance to look good for the committee. And so with a team like Lipscomb, that's probably going to entail trying to play some more road games, some high major teams, maybe some neutral site games, to get those quadrant 1, quadrant 2 opportunities that the selection committee really values.
Good stuff. And I see where Casey Alexander, who had done a great job with that Lipscomb program, is moving down the street to Belmont. That just came out this morning.
You know, it's funny you bring that up. I texted with him last night. Coach Alexander was always great to us at Alabama. When we'd go up to Nashville for the SEC tournament, we'd practice in their gym and, go shoot around day of the game. You got 14 teams in town all trying to get practice sites, so it can get kind of hairy. And as the director of ops, that's kind of your job. So he was always really good to us, squeezing us in. So I have a little bit of a relationship there. And when I saw he got the job, I was happy for him. Shot him a little text. So, yeah, Belmont didn't have to look very far for that next coach, did they?
Nashville's interesting, isn't it? You got Jerry Stackhouse now at Vanderbilt, Colton, Casey making the move over to Belmont. Some interesting hires just within the B&A, I guess you could say.
No question. Going to have somebody new at Lipscomb. I don't think they've made that decision yet. So you're going to have a lot of new blood up there in Nashville. It's sort of good timing for me to get out of the ops world, because I don't know who to call for a practice spot up there anymore.
Well, we'll know who to call once the season rolls around. And even before then, we hope to have Colton on a regular basis, because with bracketology and all the things you see out there, to get some hard and fast analytical information, black and white stuff from HD Intelligence as we move throughout the season, should make it a lot more clear when it comes bubble time, I would guess, too, Colton.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I'll promise you and your listeners I won't get too nerdy on you. I'll keep it fun. but the selection committee, man, they've got this thing down to a science with the way they evaluate teams. And I'd love to come on here and try to shed a little insight on that and really just talk a little hoops once the season gets here.
Absolutely. We look forward to it. And also give Colton a follow on Twitter at Colton_Houston. It's pronounced Houston, spelled like the city, Houston, Houston. Hey, Colton, best of luck on this thing, man. We are thrilled for you, and congratulations, and we look forward to keeping up with HD Intelligence.
Man, can't say thank you enough, Travis, and look forward to coming back.